Your sojourners within your gates. For in 6 days you have made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and the rest of the seventh day. Therefore you have blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart. Respect your father and your mother, so that your days are prolonged upon the soil which Elohim has given you. Do not murder. Do not commit adultery. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness against your neighbor. Do not covet your house. Do not covet your wife, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, or whatever belongs to you.
Okay. Feedback. Feedback. Does the Ruach speak to you during the reading?
I verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, of, or that is in the water under the earth.
I like the verse 12. Respect your father and your mother, so that your days are prolonged upon the soil, which, like the first part, but in the last part more than anything, which Yah your Elohim is giving you. I think sometimes we think that just when we get another day of life, it's just like, oh, Yah forgot to kill me today, or Yah's just letting me live. No, He's giving you each and every single day. Every day that you have, He's giving it to you. It's like He's handing it to you. Each day He's handing it to you. It's not like a package that He's just throwing at you. It's each and every day He's thoughtfully giving a day to you. And what you do in that day is, what you do in that day is completely up to you. Whether you're glorifying Yah or glorifying yourself is up to you.
Would you
Free
say?
will, right? Free will
Glorifying
sacrifice.
what?
Whether you're glorifying Yah or glorifying yourself, it's up to you to do that, because it's just your free will sacrifice. You're sacrificing for yourself. You're sacrificing. Sacrifice is sacrifice. You can sacrifice wrong or right. Either way, this life takes a lot of sacrifice. So you sacrifice evilly. Like, people often think that sacrificing for Yah is so hard, and sacrificing for yourself is a lot easier, but sacrificing either way, I think, is pretty hard. Like, sacrificing yourself to be fit. That doesn't help Yah, it helps yourself. And you can take that and,
It does help. Yeah.
Yeah, but it helps you more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Benefits you. You
Well,
can take that and benefit Yah with it,
right.
if you are submitting under Him, but firstly, it benefits yourself.
Yeah. What's in
You
that?
can make sacrifices to go and minister. That doesn't benefit you. That benefits Yah first. Or anything.
Well, you got to do yourself right. You got to do well for yourself so you can do well unto the Father. Because understand, you are His
servant,
tabernacle. You are His vessel. So He's put His Spirit in the host to make sure the host is doing everything right. You are the host. Making sure the host is doing everything right. You're putting into your mouth the right things. You're putting into your mouth the food and the nourishment, the proper nourishment. And the output is going to be what you put in. Input and output. Okay? Next.
I would say I like 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. you shouldn't worship your idols, but you should worship God.
Mm-hmm. What are your idols?
Like
What?
Could be
Yeah.
ways or yourself.
It could be what?
Yourself or Our food. You can worship food. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You worship other people. You worship other gods. The whole entire thing. Because, like, when God tells us these commandments, He's very clear about what He has to say. He knows that we're already going to be sinning. Like, when He was telling the commandments to Moses, the Israelites were already starting to sin. The very thing that He was saying. And then Moses broke that tablet of stone. He explains it really well. And he doesn't only mention it in Exodus. He mentions more like about the Sabbath and about what you're supposed to do. And that, like we're reading in Matthew, it said the commandments as well yesterday. It also said the commandments there. People like to look for loopholes not to do the commandments.
Yeah. It's a state of your heart, isn't it? It's a state of your heart. What's in your heart, you will show it on the outside through your actions, through your words, through the way you live. What's going on in your heart? The real always shows out on the out. It shows out. The real always shows out. The real meaning, what's really going on in your heart, it shows out. Anyone else?
I like verse 2. It says, I am Yahweh, he who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery. So when they prayed and asked God to deliver them, He set them free of all that work they had to do, the slavery and that, and that's where we get this. Where they prayed Yahweh and to them.
It's like a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, all good points. All good points. Again, this goes back to what we were meditating yesterday during the Shabbat about to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it's because there is no light in them. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to the word, there is no light in them.
What does that say?
Isaiah chapter 8, we read that yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Verse 20. To the law and to the testimony. That means all of these legends in the faith, and you read that in Hebrews 11, these legends brought forth a set of actions, brought forth this faith in their lives. That is testimony. You want to read a chapter on testimony? Just go to Hebrews chapter 11. What do these people's lives look like? And you know, what's interesting is, all of those individuals you read in Hebrews 11, in line with this verse, as far as what is testimony, you see that they all forsook entities in their lives, idols in their lives, things that held them down. The very section that you read in Isaiah chapter 6, right? When Isaiah is going through this purification, right? When he's going through this purification, when the seraphim put this coal, live coal, and he laid it upon the mouth of Yeshayahu, Isaiah, he is being told, also I heard the voice of Yahweh. Now the Most High, the Ruach Kodesh, is speaking through Isaiah. He says, also I heard the voice of Yahweh saying, whom shall I send? Who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. And he said, go and tell this people, hear you indeed, but understand not. You see you indeed, but you perceive not. make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed. You understand? And how long? Then he asks a question to the Most High. How long? How long do we read this covenant? How long do I speak? Do you believe he spoke anything contrary to what you're reading every morning as far as the covenant? Ezra did the same thing. Nehemiah did the same thing. All of this, the legends did the same thing during their age. You think Noah spoke any different? The covenant wasn't given, but he still proclaimed the fear of Yah. The covenant of Yah, which you read, is literally the ABCs of the fear of Yah, which is the beginning of wisdom. No different. It is just reproclaiming the fear of Yah. That's what we went over yesterday. Fear of Yah. Just like one of you prayed in your prayer, Father, grant me the fear, which is the beginning of wisdom. Give me the fear. And fear is not what the Western society concocts or connotates. Fear is a level of, like, the desire to, you want to win this race. You have to run this race so hard that you have no choice but to win. And those of us that have run races know, like, I've run way too many races in my life. In those races, do you know how many times it comes in your head, just quit, just quit, just stop, stop it. Why are you doing this to me? Stop it. Stop it. Stop doing this to yourself. Stop it. What are you doing to yourself? How many times has this happened to me? And I'm speaking from my foxhole, from my personal experience. There is an enmity that is working inside you. You don't have to look too far out. You don't have to look like this. Hey, where's the enemy coming? It's in you. The greatest opponent is in you, telling you to quit every day.
Yeah.
So therefore I tell you, you've got to decide, where is the wretched man that is lying? Where is that wretched self? You've got to expose. Take that covenant and expose the wretched self, wretched man that is within you, that as Paul talks about in Romans 7. O wretched man that I am, who shall save me from this plight, from this state of mind? And that's truly the circumcision of the heart. And I was reading Paul today, and he says, circumcision benefits you none, uncircumcision benefits you none, but keeping of the commandments of Yah. But keeping of the commandments of Yah. This in a nutshell tells who you are. Are you going to be this person that Isaiah is talking about? Are you going to wake up from that stupor? He says, tell them the truth so many times till the places become wasteland. That's what he's saying over here in Isaiah 6. Tell it so that inhabitants of the land will, like, pull their hair out. It's like, you have nothing new to say. You have nothing new to say. Every time we come to church, this is all you have to say. We hate you. Yeah. Tell it so much that they hear, but they don't understand. They see, but they can't perceive what this man is trying to say. They've heard it for so long that the fear of Yah has escaped the tabernacle, themselves. It's escaped out of their being. They've heard something so long that they cannot muster it in themselves to bring forth righteousness, bring forth right doing. They've heard it so long that they can't muster it in themselves to do the right thing. They can't. So that covenant that we read every day, and I ask you, what is the Ruach Kodesh speaking to you? because he is longing to hold you by your hand and take you to the next step. Like, you know how you're climbing stairs one step at a time? You know how many people in this life, in this day and age, is locked. They're locked up on a step. They can't get past that step because they're locked up with fear. They're locked up with
Obesity.
family members like holding them back, whatever the case be, to instilling fear, putting fear, whatever the case be. It's just there's a lot. There are many different things what causes people to not operate in faith, because that's why he says, "Do not do this by sight." Do not. It can only be done by His Spirit. This whole thing about Yah's spiritual kingdom, the kingdom of Yah, can only be done by His Spirit. No matter how much education you get, no matter how much awareness you get, if you really are not doing it by the Spirit, you really have no clue what's going on. Most people who go through the motions, this is why we left the Sunday church. We left the Sunday church because folks just wanted to check in the box. They wanted to look pretty for 3 hours and then go back to their state of wretched self, miserable as it gets. Misery, misery, misery.
Misery.
Why? Because they're not allowing the word to splice and dice and cut asunder the things that are growing in them. That's why they cannot do this. They can't their heart is so fattened by the things of this world. Make their ears heavy, he says, and shut their eyes. You know how some people fall asleep in church? Because here's this preacher with his same old. Yeah, of course, you're going to fall asleep in church. You're going to fall asleep in an assembly. You're going to fall asleep in a get-together. Or you're going to check out in your body and be somewhere else in mind. You know, you can do that. So easy. So easy. If you can figure that out, now you're slowly transitioning into the power of your mind. That this body has nothing. Yes, you have to do the right things. I agree with you, Isaiah. You've got to do the right things for your body to get the clarity of mind. But what if you do all of that, yet you cannot be present in person? You can be present. You're present, but you're absent. You have the difficulty to be engaged, to interact. That's why I open the floor after we read the covenant as what has the Spirit interacted with? Have you interacted? Have you allowed the Ruach, the set apart Spirit, to interact with you? That's why prayer goes hand in hand with the covenant reading. You submit yourself, then you open up your mind to the washing of the Word. You wash yourself, you scrub yourself with the covenant every day. You wash yourself with the Word. You've opened up your heart. Ruach, here I am. I submit to myself. Now give me the Word. I'm going to apply the Word into me. All right. Can you speak to me? Can you speak through me? And can you help me step from here to the next higher step? Because that's the only way going forward. Or you're declining in steps. You're going backwards. All right? Think about it.